Deep underground, the Stardust Crusaders, Jotaro, Joseph, Kakyoin, and Polnareff set off to fight the greatest evil known to man. And in case anyone is wondering, no, it is not Dio. Though we wish it was. No, it was somebody far greater than the great Dio.
Eat your vegetables! Dear John, thank you so much for mansplaining to us. Yes, here come the carnist feminists, ready to defend the man, as they pile on the death and all the torture of all the other humans.
Oh, well, shit. That was easy.
Rising with each beat of the music is bringing. We're flames in the fire that keeps burning. We're inviting the night in.
Tactical nuke incoming!
How's it going, everybody? This is Rob Novakast, back with another video. With this one, we'll be responding to... actually, to somebody I haven't responded to, or at least done a video on at all. And it's odd, because this person I came across on TikTok, and apparently they blew up with how irrational some of their viewpoints is, or how how they process when it comes to dealing with people, which, you know, that should be around my, you know, just that'd be in my spectrum of content to do, which is, you know, combating people's irrational behavior. But yeah, for some reason I didn't come across this person yet. Well, I think I'm gonna make up for lost time and go ahead and do this. Now, I will say that with TikTok videos, it's a lot harder to get the, you know, get the clips to respond to, but lucky for me, there was somebody who was able to compile a I guess a compilation of videos that this individual, which is known as ThatVeganTeacher, and another individual have been going back and forth, or at least of them going back and forth, rebuttaling each other in terms of ethics. So we're gonna get into that, and it may be a lot of fun, or we may lose brain cells because of how stupid some people are. Now, I think I should mention something, because when it comes to videos like this, it's either do or die. Damn if you do, damn if you don't, if you talk about it. But I'm just gonna say this right off the bat. If you're a vegan and that's the life choice you chose for yourself, then that's understandable. But I have to bring up the fact that when it comes down to whether we talk about veganism or in some cases like the dog hater community or a variety of other people that we discussed, a lot of these people have these radical views, and if you don't conform to the way that they live, then they end up kind of pushing people away from their viewpoints, if that makes any sense. Where the point where it doesn't just become like activism, it becomes more like radical occult-like behavior, I guess I should say. Now, to be fair, again, there are some vegans that, you know, they chose that lifestyle for themselves where they only eat plant-based foods, and in some sense do that to better their own lives. But at the same time, some of them aren't going and attacking or harassing people who still eat meat. Which, again, there's a difference between, choosing a lifestyle for yourself and then trying to force people into that same lifestyle. Alright, so with that out of the way, why don't we go ahead and get started with this.
Eat your vegetables!
Alrighty, only a few seconds in, and I'm already thinking, who is this crazy lady, and which loony bin did she come out of?
Actually, you're not really vegan. You are someone who simply eats plants. We call that a plant-based person. A real vegan is somebody who defends animals all the time and talks about their exploitation.
So, hold on. No, doesn't, the person having a plant-based diet consider them as a vegan? And if anything, what you're describing is more of a form of activism than veganism, if anything. Because, let's be fair here, again, there are some vegans who have a plant-based diet, who refrain from using animal products, but still at the same time recognize that other people have a different diet than theirs, and they don't shame them or try to force them into a different perspective.
Actually, you're not really vegan. You are someone who simply eats plants. We call that a plant-based person. A real vegan is somebody who defends animals all the time.
No. Before I get started, I'm just going to say I don't have any issues with veganism, whether you're doing it for nutrition reasons, moral reasons, environmental reasons, whatever. As far as I can tell, there is no societal understanding that says that in order to be a vegan, not only do you not have to eat or use animals or animal byproducts, but you also have to be an animal rights activist or actively try to convert people to veganism. And like I said before, I don't have any issue with vegans in general. But I think that the unnecessary gatekeeping that she's doing, not only in this video, but many of her other videos, is doing more harm to her cause than it is good.
Yeah, I have to agree. And by the way, as I mentioned, it's a compilation of, the Vegan Teacher and this person, John Robert Bell, giving their responses to each other. That was John Robert Bell just a second ago. And I agree. There are some vegans that don't, particularly try to force other people into living the same lifestyle. Especially with the fact that, in some cases, it would probably be a little bit difficult for certain individuals, depending on their health, to even consider moving to a vegan or all vegan diet. By the way, I'm not trying to say it's impossible, but it would be difficult. That's where I'm getting at.
Dear John, thank you so much for mansplaining to us, female animal rights activists, what the definition of veganism is. Coming from a carnist like you, golly gee, that sure means a lot. But we saw the definition differently than you did. We see the vegan society definition as encouraging us to speak out for the victims at all times. We also happen, by the way, to speak out on the rights of all minorities, the LGBTQ+ community, and against all racism, among tons of other things. So, I invite you to think about the female cows who are raped, and their baby boys taken away and murdered, and their baby girls put back into the cycle of violence, just so you can have some milk in your coffee.
So, with this statement, I kind of feel like she's stretching a little bit, because I don't think that, communities like the LGBTQ would even want any involvement in this. Especially when honestly, I wouldn't see any reason of them getting involved when it comes to the activism in certain vegans. So I don't understand this whole thing that she's trying to prove. Also, mansplaining? I don't think he was being condescending in any way. At least I believe that's what the definition claims in Wikipedia for, mansplaining. And if I may, wouldn't, by your own logic, like if we were to play by your rules, because you're kind of being condescending here, wouldn't that mean you're, I don't know, woman-splaining when it comes down to your thoughts and opinions, as well as, trying to claim that you know what this guy does when it comes to milk or his coffee or whatever.
Oh shit! Burn! Burn!
By the way, in case people wanted to ask, because I know when it comes down to the coffee question, I myself don't use milk for my coffee. If anything, I use almond milk. Not because I'm vegan, because I know some of the people that I know that I'm not vegan, but due to the fact that I can't have milk. So, just in case this lady wants to assume what I put in my coffee too, you know.
Dear John, thank you so much for mansplaining to us, female animal rights activists, what the definition of veganism is. Coming from a carnist like you, golly gee, that sure means a lot.
Okay, let's talk about it. First of all, me educating my followers about what the actual definition of veganism is not mansplaining to female animal rights activists. And you can use the Vegan Society's definition of veganism to include philosophy, lifestyle activism, all you want. That's your choice. But simply speaking, there's lots of ways to be vegan. And until society in general decides to include those pieces into the definition of veganism, I'm not going to either. And one last thing. You used graphic imagery to describe how I get the milk to put in my coffee, but I don't drink coffee anymore. And when I did, I drank it black.
Yes, here come the carnist feminists, ready to defend the man, as they pile on the death and all the torture of all the other females in the system. Cows, pigs, chickens, you don't give a shit about them, do you? You're also wrong about the definition of mansplaining. Here it is according to Wikipedia. You can look at all of these nice stickers from PETA while I read it.
You know, when it comes to people mentioning PETA, I wonder how she would react, you know, being a vegan activist, if she found out that the PETA organization not only, you know, collected pets from owners by stealing them, but also had kill shelters when they were overfull with animals that they could not take care of or find homes for because they were against pet ownership. I wonder if she would rethink having those stickers on her laptop, knowing that she was advocating for murderers of animals.
Mansplaining is a pejorative term meaning to comment on or explain something to a woman in a condescending, overconfident, and often inaccurate or oversimplified manner. Author Rebecca Solnit ascribed the phenomenon to a combination of overconfidence and cluelessness, which is exactly what John had.
I'm sorry, I don't think that's the case when it comes down to what John Robert Bell has been kind of doing with his rebuttals to you. Also, again, going over this whole mansplaining thing, because I feel like you're just trying to push whatever you can say to denounce what he has to say. The same thing can be said with you, quote-unquote, being condescending and you womansplaining, which, looking at Wikipedia, by the way, is informal, derogatory, condescending explanation of something by a woman, particularly to a man. Now, I know I'm probably gonna go into kind of controversial topics here, but the whole mansplaining, womansplaining thing is a bunch of BS. I ultimately think it's just, you know, people, like, they're just explaining or at least describing somebody being condescending. By which, if, or when a person is condescending, it can go either way, whether it be a man or a woman being condescending to the other person. It doesn't mean that only a man can do it, or a man is doing it to a woman. It goes both ways. Just like right now, where Robert Bell has, or John Robert Bell has given his points, and it seems calmly, for the most part, you have, I guess, been very agitated, or slowly getting agitated to this point, from the videos we've seen. Especially when it doesn't seem like you're getting your way.
Yes, here come the carnist feminists, ready to defend the man.
So as you can see here, she responded to my friend Ashley's comment. And I have to say, I'm a little offended she didn't respond to my well-thought-out comment with the most number of likes, where I said, LOL.
Oh my fucking god, that's so Lamau.
But let's hear how she responds to Ashley saying that I wasn't mansplaining. Roll clip.
You're also wrong about the definition of mansplaining. Here it is according to Wikipedia. And you can look at all of these nice stickers from PETA while I read it. Mansplaining is a pejorative term meaning to comment on or explain something to a woman in a condescending, overconfident, and often inaccurate or oversimplified manner.
Okay, maybe I wasn't accurate. Let's go to the dictionary definition of vegan. A strict vegetarian who consumes no food that comes from animals. Also one who abstains from using animal products. Seems like you were the only person being inaccurate.
Dear John,
This is your trigger warning. This video will contain discussions about consent and sexual assault.
the way you talk about and describe consent. Now let's examine it.
They cannot consent. That is sexual assault.
You are absolutely right. The bulls do not consent to be masturbated and have their sperm taken from them.
Wait. Is she classifying someone breeding an animal to the same vein as somebody being sexually assaulted?
You are made of stupid.
The cows do not consent to have this sperm inserted into them.
You know, I typically ignore when people do crap like this with the videos I make or the words that I say, but I will not ignore it this time. I have made so many videos educating my followers about why consent is so important. And for you to make a mockery of consent by comparing how we as humans interact with each other in a safe and productive way to breeding animals is shameful. And posting videos like that just makes it so much harder for us to talk about consent and have people take it seriously. You need to apologize to every adult and child whose experience with sexual assault you just compared to breeding animals, and think before you speak.
Yeah, I have to agree, especially with, with what this person is saying. Trying to compare breeding an animal to people who are sexually assaulted, I don't. Damn if I do, damn if I don't. It just devalues what people, unfortunately have to go through, and then when they try to get help, it just devalues, what they have to say or what they deal with. Claiming, oh, you are in the same vein of a cow or another animal being bred for either food or whatever. This is so fucking stupid, and if anything, really fucking offensive, especially people who have to go through that shit. I don't know about you, but this lady is, oh boy. This is going to be interesting. Now, I'd love to continue this whole video compilation thing and do responses, but I think I'm done for now. There's going to be another part to this, or at least continuing these responses. So look forward to that. If you guys have any thoughts on what has been said, leave your comments down below. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you guys want to follow us on social media, links are in the description down below, as well as check out our daily content and the weekly podcast. With that being said, this is Rob Novakast signing off. Have a good one, and take care. Peace.